You're not too old to try new things, but you're too old to keep doing the things, to keep doing things that aren't working. Sometimes you need a minor adjustment. A wave of love and empathy. Wayland Jennings. The rainbow always finds its way. I think I need to book an appointment, please. A couple of you have seen me with that sheet on because I wake up chilly sometimes. That's not unusual. That's not unusual even for a fairly healthy person. But, I don't want some people to think it's weird. So, because, I never do weird stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to come do a quick podcast fairly early in the morning. It's about 5:30, 5:40. And actually I did that first part quite quickly. I sort of want to get a water. That one I put in just 15 minutes ago. Oh, let me, just a minute here. I, I hated and I hope to get back to sleep for at least a little bit in our schedule, but it is chilly in here. Did I not turn that up when I got up? No, because I guess I thought I'm going back to bed and it's at a pretty good temperature, and yeah. Anyway, we've got four of you here, and I want to just jump right into things here. Some of you will be familiar with me, some of you won't be, but you can become familiar with me and hopefully appreciate that, and then I appreciate likes, comments, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. This is the second day in a row actually that I woke up quite early. I just became a little older just the other day. We got six of you here, well, a year older. We're always getting older by the moment, right? But and I can't remember, other than that my friend Ray was involved. What and a couple. I made a new contact here on YouTube, and a fairly new contact was also here to chat. Um, and and my friend Ray, like I say, and I'd have to look back. I don't know if it's just that I'm not very awake at the moment or what. Um, I'm curious to those that saw it, what it stood out to you about it. Um, and I am curious also if we have anybody who, I mean, I know this is YouTube, and surprisingly, a lot of the conversation happens just in the chat and not while live. So I'm just multitasking for a moment there. I mean, and not as much afterwards, but sometimes. And a lot of people that seem to comment seem to be who seem very real in the chat, and I'm sure that they are. don't post much themselves. It'd be cool if they did, though, because I'd subscribe, especially if they subscribe to me. And, if I like their content, I mean, sometimes I'll look, say, somebody that likes that is into my content. But, I am pretty diverse. Yeah, so, but anyway, basically, but I'd be curious, anybody who saw the one the other morning, what your thoughts were on it. The one this morning was inspired by a bit of a. I know that there's a certain phrase, and I was going to call this and a film I might be working on that, but I think it's probably already out there. I do recommend a movie of the week. It's free on YouTube. I'd have to search it, and I could put it in the comments. The other details that would help you find it, because it's yeah, I'd be curious to hear what people think of it. Um, and that, anywho, basically, um, so I slept all night. I slept fine. I don't even know if I was up once. Usually, I am at least once. Well, sometimes not more than once, but I would say yes, at least once. And I I do have arthritis and some circulation issues that I've been noticing kind of more in the past, let's say probably 5 or 6 months, but not daily. And I've never woken up with the feeling that I woke up with this morning. It's even, well, again, it's not that unique, but what's kind of unique is I'm kind of feeling it a little bit on the tops of my feet as opposed to the bottoms. And sometimes, not being on my feet all night, sleeping all night, I can wake up and my feet feel tender would be the word, maybe not necessarily tingling or anything like that, but this morning my right hand and then it started to go up the arm, and I do have arthritis, but and I do play a lot of music. I do type a lot on computer and on, like, I could totally type all day, but I kind of balance out my day. I mean, not like some people that are, on a computer all day at work, and on other devices. And this is about probably, I had to get up probably about 20, 30 minutes before I usually would. Anyway, and it's still actually numb. I got up for 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and I did a couple of things. And then I came downstairs and I put a couple of waters in the fridge, and I looked at my tablet, which, again, I don't know if that's the kind of movement that would, help this kind of thing. And, I do some holistic practices. And I have a friend that I was talking with the other day, that I actually brought into the video. It wasn't exactly planned, but I was familiar with her, and so that it felt it felt comfortable, felt right. So I brought her in, and here in Canada, it's legal. I don't know about saying in the video or not, but she does a certain type of plant medicine, let's just say that. And I've gotten product from her, but it's been a while. Anywho, so yeah, I woke up and this hand, like, I've been sleeping all night. You would think, okay, even though if the body completely went to sleep, it would be dead, right? But so even though the body, I was fully asleep, I don't usually wake up with, I mean, I know that sometimes, your hand goes to sleep, but I don't usually wake up feeling like I have to get out of bed because, like, I need to move my arm, I need to move my hand. It's odd. I don't know what's going on. And even that little bit of movement, like, I'm going to have to do more apparently because it's still. Um, and so, um, and like I say, I did just recently have a birthday. So, and we got some over here now. I'm pretty sure that the chat's turned on, by the way. I hope so. And yes, call out to filmmakers because I started this out with a little bit of creativity. I mean, some people wouldn't be, might be worried about something happening to their health, wouldn't think I'm going to make a creative film about it. but I am a creative person. I am a YouTuber. I don't know if I'd call myself a filmmaker. I would say that I'm interested in filmmaking. I would say that I am creative, like I say. But I don't really have I'm not really good at putting it all together necessarily. Um, I am in some groups, though, on a social media site, and some of them are filmmaking, although I'm hesitant. What I think I'd post is, are we allowed to post links in here? And I would think most likely in the comments. But I'm hesitant. I don't remember which group it was, and I have blocked the individual. But there was a guy who posted something that looked fairly legit. Sometimes I'll look after, sometimes I don't. Um, and this time I didn't. And I commented, possibly being interested. And then later that day or the next day, I got a friend request from him. And I went and looked. And I mean, yeah, sometimes people rejoin or have a second, whatever. But I went and looked. So I just got to put this here, I guess, for now. And basically, he only had like two or three contacts. And I didn't know what to think of that. But if there's any filmmakers watching or people that have interest in it, people that might like to collab, I'd like to collab with you because, yeah, I what ran through my head this morning is like, I don't think I had a stroke, but I'll tell you this much. There are some people, because of people's different ways of communicating, and no, nobody on Danny's stream, because of people's different ways of communicating and other people's different abilities of reading, there are some people out there who can be quite rude, quite unnecessary. Sometimes I've noticed it with others too. Experience this. And one of the things that sometimes people say is um, something about a stroke. I can't remember their exact wording, and I never really say this, so it's not something to joke about. Okay, it's really, when you or someone you love, and that's when the viewers went. Okay, but there was only two at the time. Um, go through that, you'll realize that. And that was actually kind of changed because of one. Anywho, so but what happened is I woke up and a little worried, to be honest. I mean, I hate to say this to the people that I'm getting to know on here, and I just kind of hate to say it. And with this particular mention, in the live chat, you're welcome to comment on this part. Otherwise, because this is a channel that two of us use, if G got notification of a comment about this, he'd be pretty worried, and I don't want to worry him. But if it wasn't for him, the dog, a few of you here, and a small number outside of here these days, um, but when you think about that, it makes it all worth it. And I talk about this kind of stuff on here sometimes, where it's kind of like if you are questioning your life, like in a way where you're not sure you still want it, um, let's talk, or at least check out my content, and hopefully it helps you. Like it's not all about that, but maybe something will help you. There were some nice examples of that the other day there actually. But anywho, so basically, if it wasn't for them, I won't lie, and I won't lie. There was a part of me that kind of thought, okay, if my body is starting to fail me, I'll just let it, you know. And but I thought, no, I'm not. There's some reasons why I'm not ready, aside from the ones I just mentioned. So I've got up, I've moved around a little bit, and I'm possibly up for the day. I could have gotten another hour of sleep, but I'm possibly up for the day. And I should move around a little bit. Actually, it wasn't until just around when I started this one that my feet started, and it's like both feet, one hand under this wrist. It's like I really do think something's off, you know, and so basically, and I this is just something the body is naturally doing, you know. It's not because of anything strenuous necessarily that I've done. It's not because of anything that any substance, even medication. Um, so what is this? I'm pretty sure that the audio is working, and we got five of you here, and I'm glad to have here. I realize that whether you know me or not, some of this stuff, you know, would be awkward to put a like to, because it's a little bit worrying. But I do appreciate you liking the video in general, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. But yeah, and you know, every time I post, every time any of us post, we're creating our legacy. And I have other videos where I talk better about that, probably. But, you know, we're creating a legacy that, you know, we have even when, you know, that our loved ones have when we pass away, right? So I don't feel like I'm at death's doorstep. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. And I know some people, but I mean, it's too early. They're not open yet. Um, it's the day before the weekend. Um, Winter is coming. Winter's arriving, and I live in a winter climate. It doesn't mean I like it. um, I don't know where my socks are. I think they're probably over by the keyboard. Um, but and so basically, yes, it's the call for filmmakers just to get that, you know, mentioned, and I think I kind of have, and you know, it's not just for filmmakers, but is like, well, I think I kind of said it. Like I say, like I want to make more films. I want to get more creative. I want to get more. I don't want to say polished, but maybe polished. Uh, I just want, you know, I don't mind being organic and free spirited and this and that, but sometimes I want to look more tight with my videos, if that makes sense. So, and it was really kind of interesting that, you know, like I've been in quite a podcast. I did a lot of podcasting just the other day there. And although I don't have much going on today, I might take a bit of a rest from it. I'm not sure. But you know, not being up very long, even, not really thinking about it. And it's interesting, I almost went to an event where I could have done some networking with some people, but as I mentioned in the video the other day um, there were things that kind of got in the way of that happening. So, but that doesn't mean I can't meet other people that have the interest, right? And to collab with, and you know, I would give you credit. I would give you credit, and whether it's something you've ever done before or just might want to try, I would give you credit for, you know, helping and what you do. Um, but I would take some as well. I mean, you know, because that makes sense. Um, but anyway, and even if somebody, for lack of a different word, was unkind or selfish with this, um, you know, and went and made their own idea, you know, I would hope that they aren't. I would hope that they would be a better person than that. And to be quite honest, I bet you most of the people that such people would know would would agree that they shouldn't do that kind of thing. And I can also bet you, because anybody who thinks that they should, you know, whether they're living or have passed away, I don't, not meaning to be rude or offensive to anybody, but I would bet you that anyone's loved ones in heaven would say, you know, it's cool if you collab, it's cool if you do your own thing, but don't don't take too much of somebody's idea or content and make it your own. And actually, YouTube is starting to get tighter about that anyway. And I hate to even mention it, but you know, I feel like I should. Anyway, but basically, so yeah, I woke up and pretty quickly, and he's probably hearing that I'm podcasting. He's like, "Oh, that's why you wanted to get up." Well, only partly, but anyway, I pretty quickly got an idea to Well, the quote thing I didn't remember until I was remembering that film group. But again, I'm not sure if I'm going to post it, and I get so easily distracted, and there's other groups that might show me first, and blah blah blah. But anywho, including the one I have open, which I think I have to reopen, but I'd commented something, and then I was able to refine it, which was good because I wanted to verify something about it anyway. It's not actually a group; it's somebody that I follow. I was pretty sure I knew why, or I'm pretty sure I knew kind of the I don't even know how I came across them, to be quite honest, but I was pretty sure I knew what the connection was there, or at least the big one, and it does seem to be the case. But he's been posting some other stuff, which, you know, not bad stuff. I showed a little bit of it at the beginning of this actually, which made me wonder: is it the person I was thinking? Because I don't see his stuff very often. Anyway, it is, and that's what you need to know. Anyway, so that's what's up right now. But I so yeah. Anywho, but so I got up, and I didn't know if I should. I didn't want to be like misleading or whatever, but it was a creative moment, like I say. Even though it was early, um, I did sleep well, like I said. Anywho, where I didn't know whether I should pretend to call a doctor, a loved one, but for some reason I was feeling the phone thing. I was feeling showing my hand, showing my foot. I was feeling um, we have a what we have our phone on didn't used to be the case, but currently we have the home phone. We have it two bases for it, and they both are kind of on the same piece of furniture. And sometimes we put it in the top one, but it doesn't always seem to charge. It seems to, I don't know if it seems to vary or it charges better on one than the other. Anyway, so we have the one that's a bit higher and the one that's a bit lower. And I was pretty sure I remembered that it was in the one that was a bit lower, even though I haven't really used it a lot lately because I use other devices more. And I don't know if we got that call, that customer service call the other day, so I have to check. Anywho, so because it was on the lower one, you'll see in the beginning of this that I kind of played with height a little bit, like I was maybe like getting up out of bed or um, getting up from like the ground or whatever. That's what that was supposed to look like. The reason why I included quotes in the beginning, and not many, but I'll try and do more, and you can tell me favorite mantras or quotes as well. The reason why I included quotes is because um, I remembered what I had up on my device before I went to bed. Unfortunately, when I came to it today, it reloaded, and it didn't load back to that. It was something to the effect of maybe people have heard it before. Something to the effect of, you know, past generations are sometimes um, unhealed or toxic, uh, and we're here to kind of be the catalyst, for lack of a different word, to or also said to be the medicine, actually, to kind of pave the way for the next generation. Now I don't have kids, and I don't know if it's likely that I will. But and I don't even have a super close family. I've talked about that before. It's in some ways a bit hard to explain. Like, it's not like they hate me because of this, this, and this. It's just the way it is. Some part of it is that it's a small family. Anywho, so I don't know if I heard anything. Hey, he said he was going to do it, but that's true. He thought it was big, fingers. So we have one person here now. The numbers have been quite high, some for a few minutes. Person who's here now, I kind of feel like that's meant to be, and I'm curious to ask. I'm pretty sure chat's working. If it's not, like if I'm not responding to comments that you're putting, I'm not seeing them. At the moment, I don't have my other device handy, but you're welcome to select what you've written and put it afterwards. Um, And that's very appreciated as well, because if you were putting them, I'd look at them. But or maybe you're not, but I invite you to. I'm not forcing you to. I invite you to. I feel like the one person that's here right now is maybe meant to be the one that is still here, out of all the ones that have actually. This seems to be a pretty active time. I mean, it's different people. There's different time zones. There's lots on YouTube, but I've noticed that like the indicator, the numbers of views in. I guess I haven't done a lot of videos at this time in the morning, this early, but like, I don't think that. I actually kind of think it's a bit more unusual of other YouTubers. No offense to them, that are all about views. Like, I read something. Was it on here? Recently that basically, and it reloaded that as well. So let me just go back here. I mean, I'm not saying that the views aren't important. I mean, you got to start with the views, before any of the other good stuff. But basically, I guess it was via. Well, if it was via this device, let me just grab this device and look at it for a moment. I don't know what'll happen if I bring the message up over top of this, though. That's the only thing. But essentially, it's that I'm more of a. This was come across weird if you're not familiar, or maybe if you are. I don't know. Weird if you're not familiar with me, or if you take it as it first may sound. Um, I am a guy of substance. I'm a person of substance. It's all cool when people are watching and when they're sticking around to do so. I appreciate it. It's hard to know what they're thinking if they're not saying, but hopefully good things. Because why wouldn't they be? And actually, as much as I don't want to be focusing on negative and don't hugely feel like it's the difference between comments and conversation and criticism. I think that's what it is. I don't really feel like I need criticism, uh, which I was going to use the word feedback, but then I decided to use that other word, and now I'm thinking, do I see them the same thing or very similar? Well, I think there can be positive or negative feedback. Point of the matter being is that I may have forgotten. I'm just suddenly noticing the radio. I knew it was on lightly, and some people seem to be able to, but I don't want to have pre-recorded music in this, just in case. Um, what was I trying to say about that? I don't know. Oh, really, what I'm about is conversation, is having a lovely chat and getting to know each other. And you can see that it may not always show, although last night when I was looking, it did. But you can certainly hear it in my content. And the viewer left. You're like, I'm not into chatting. Or at least it looks like they left. But anyway, you can see it in the content that I'm talking with other viewers. And I mean, sure, there was a recent one where there was also some other stuff transpiring, not bad stuff, but there was some other stuff transpiring where some people may not believe that previous statement then. So this is where I hope that the chat shows, because it's there. Um, and I think, I would hope most people could tell the difference between the two things that they were seeing in that. But like I said, just yesterday is a perfect example. And yeah, I think that the video got a little bit long, as they sometimes do. You don't have to watch all of it. You don't have to watch all of it all at once either. But what I'm especially about is likes and comments. Um, and, you know, as long as people are being kind, and, usually they are. They either don't say anything or they're kind. And I mean, I can't complain much, with that. But I take the time to look at your comments, whether they come in during or after, but usually it's during. for whatever weird reason. But anyway, so if there's any there, I'm not seeing them. So like I say, you can take them, and once this video is posted very shortly, you can come back and put them in, and I'll check them out. But yeah, so basically, and all four of you they're like, okay, I'll just do that then. I've been writing novels here, and so you're not getting them. Then this isn't a conversation. And some people they do. They come to YouTube for that. They really, on both sides of things, the podcaster and the commenters. But then it looks like either two came back or there's two other people here. But yeah, but it would have been funny if they were like, "Well, I've been writing novels. If you're not receiving them, I'll just come back later and send them to you," like you're suggesting. But I'm not sure. Maybe I would receive them if nobody's commenting. I'm assuming that nobody's commenting. So, anywho, so basically, yes, I understand actually that this idea that I'm looking at right now is not necessarily one that I don't know if there's much more to put to it, but it is something that I want to do more of in my lifetime. Um, Working with, collaborating. I've done some, and it's not because those have not went well, but I and I do think a big part of it is not being a driver, not really being a fan of public transit. I mean, things you hear, um, the unreliability of it as well. Then there's our winters, um, and cabs can get expensive and all that stuff. So, I mean, when you can't get to networking events, or if there's a big fee, although there shouldn't be, um, I mean, sure, you can do it online, and I do sometimes, but I don't know. It's not that I'm picky, and it's not that but I somewhat am. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just that there hasn't been a lot of it lately, and it's been so long that I don't even know um, who I would. It's not that I forget people, but nobody comes to mind that I would specifically ask, which is one reason why I'm asking here. Like I say, whether you've ever done that kind of stuff, either posting on YouTube or in general, I would like to think that most of us have. Just like I feel like most of us should write a book about our life, even if we think we're not that interesting. I think that you know the photo and video format is a great way to tell stories, fictional or otherwise. And so, um, yes, I said a bit about it a little earlier in this, but I'd be totally open to collabing with some people. Not too many though. Like if I get interest, I might take the first one or two that appeal to me. I don't want to have too many people involved. At least for now. Too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. But yeah, I'm thinking, maybe not with the idea that I started off with this video with, because I don't really know if there's much else I could do with it. 2 to 5, cool, glad to have you here. I don't know if there's much else I could do with it. Maybe something about aging, though. Maybe something about, like I thought, maybe calling it something about the body calls, or what the body tells us, or something like that, is one idea. And just kind of like, yeah, doing, yeah. Um, I don't really know if I have any other ideas that have been floating around lately, but I'm gonna try and be aware of when they do come, and I'm the type that is fairly easily inspired. So I mean, I don't know if it's just that it's early, and even if I don't seem tired, I am. And I'm gonna try and get back to sleep. I think I could still get another 45 minutes. I think. If although I don't know though, with the physical stuff that I'm feeling right now, as I mentioned at the top of this video, I think I need to do some movement. That's what I think I need to do. And a lot of us need to do more of that, and it doesn't have to be going to the gym. So, there are different things, holistic, plant-based, physical, and then there are, things for the mind, music, art, meditation, these are all important things. Um, but yeah, I mean, because I care about the YouTube community, because I care about some things in my life. Salvia ASMR, and I'm not sure about the ASMR. Can you hit a mega spin move, please? It's early in the morning. I don't think I'm that agile. If I did that, I'd probably... things would fall off the counter. I'd injure myself. I think I best not. But thanks for your comment. I should probably make coffee. If I'm not going to get back to sleep, should I start coffee earlier? Because I feel like I'm needing it. I'm not necessarily congested, and my throat's not amazingly not sore, but I'm quite a chatter. But all good. I wouldn't want you to injure yourself. First time to the channel, by the way, and how did you come across it? I'm hoping that this device is sometimes a bit glitchy, and it's at 25%. Oh my goodness gracious me. It was plugged in overnight. That's one of its glitches. I do use other devices to stream though, and I will later today probably. But yeah, it was plugged in I unplugged it at 5:30, so I guess it's been an hour, but I've only been using it for about 36 minutes. And yeah, it's at 26%. It was plugged in all night. Weird, eh? So I probably literally just scrolling on YouTube live to be fair. Is that what that means? I think I know a lot of abbreviations, and I do. But well, that's cool. That's something I started doing. I mean, there's a reason why I paused for a little bit, other than that I've just been a little bit distracted. But and I feel like I can't always figure out how to find it. So like in the post section, I've written about that actually, and I've been using that section, and a couple people notice it. But like non-videos. But yeah, the whole scrolling through them, I mean, I'm glad to see that there's some retention, that people are either are enjoying it and are giving it some time to decide if they do, instead of like a minute in, don't like that thing. Let's don't like something about that. I get it, but sometimes we do it too quickly. That's what I feel. But yeah, I can't always figure out how to get to that way where you can just like scroll up. You know, scroll right. I'm just kidding. But it's interesting when I do, because that's when I find the kind of, when I look at the live stream section, like the live tab, it'll show like politics and sports and news and mostly that. But when can manage to do it that other way, I can see like individuals. And I mean, that one guy, he really had an interesting rhythm to his reading style. And but then we were at a certain time of year, and are not even that far from it still, and I decided that it might be best to kind of pause with that, because for my comfortability. Just a moment, trying to find my socks. Yes. Well, so I do want to say this, because I mentioned that this device drops fast. We have 6 of you here who seem to be enjoying this, so I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay, 2 of you. Well, that narrows it down. You're the 2 cool ones. But you are, though, I'm sure. Anywho, I have to plug this in. And yes, I could just continue while plugging it in, but it's in the dark bedroom. We have a painting in there that we have some art in there. I always forget it's kind of distracting until I'm rolling. And then I just try and either not have it in there, or yeah, YouTube lives always distract me. I don't live stream anymore. What kind of live streams did you do? But it's something to do. That's with I give everyone a chance. That's how you see the interesting people. Right. Anyway, I'd love to roll longer, but I haven't been up very long. And I've said the bulk of what I wanted to say, I think. And hopefully the gaps can kind of be filled in the chat. But what I would like to invite you all to do, like I say, aside from liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, is check out the other live streams. yesterday was a real great day for it because of a certain occasion, and G made an appearance too, and all that stuff. Yeah, I wasn't sure about ASMR, and almost can't remember what it stands for. Anyway, so I'll drop a sub so you pop on. Perfect, perfect. That's I appreciate it because I probably will roll in a couple hours or so. Um, and yeah, check out the other content. Don't be shy to comment on it, and we can continue there. But I'm gonna wrap up, put a bow on it. I just happen to have one here. If this dies, the cell phone is usually pretty good at saving it anyway. But yes, I'm gonna try and get some more sleep too. So I hope to see you all back real soon, and always appreciate the conversation, from the cool people. So, yeah. See you, man. Have a good one. And, yeah. Okay. And, I encourage, yeah. Okay. Thanks. Take care. Bye. Good one. Haha.